Yes, guys. Welcome back to another sultry episode of the Bootcast podcast. I am your usual host, Justin. I'm here with my fellow co-host, Colby. Colby, man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, bro. Doing good. Got a lot of stuff in over the weekend that I'm very excited about.
I was going to try to talk this whole episode like really quiet like that. I just can't do it. It's too hard.
Please
too
don't.
Hard. That's great, man. No, I know you had a lot of new things that you want to show off to the pod, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them. I got a couple of new things. We have a few things to talk about. There was some very fun, interesting news today that we'll get into. But before we get into anything, Colby, this week, what is your jersey pick of the week?
Justin, I'm going mainstream, man.
Oh,
I'm
God.
going mainstream because this is a jersey I wanted to buy, and we'll get into this topic later.
This year's Liverpool kit.
This year's Liverpool away kit. It's the last year with Nike. Mo Salah's on a tear. I want to get his jersey before he potentially goes, which I don't think he will go.
Are you being serious? That's actually your pick?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
Oh, I was being facetious. Are you talking about the black one or dark blue?
Yeah, I'm talking about the black one. Yeah, it's black and it's got like some light blue, almost like what is it, turquoisey accents.
Yeah.
It's a good jersey.
This
dude.
is the Noah jersey. It's like all Noah's colors.
Yeah, it's got Noah's colors.
Yeah.
It's awesome, bro. It's awesome.
It's a good jersey for sure.
Yeah, I have another solid jersey actually. It's kind of similar to it. It's a New Balance one. But yeah, I want to see what did he say today? He said, these players, dude, they're in good form.
Oh yeah. No, I saw his statement. He's like, I want to. We haven't talked about anything, but I'm closer to being out than I am being in.
Yeah, I'm closer to being out than in. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Give me the money,
dude. It's meant to be. You know what? He strong-armed Liverpool last time with contract talks, right? And they signed him and let Sadio Mane go.
That was an interesting one because a lot of people were up in arms, and Mane's career did not do well after that. Like he went over to Bayern, he was getting into fights with Leroy Sané, and then ended up going out to Saudi with Ronaldo, and I haven't heard about him since.
Yeah, he suffers like kind of like essentially the post Jurgen Klopp Liverpool syndrome, where it's just like just nothing left in the tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
we talked about this, like a few of those players, but like the way that I looked at it is like if each player, like their body and their career is like a tank of gas, right? And they only have so much gas to last through their whole career, unless you're Ronaldo and you're just getting refueled up. But they only have so much gas, and it can take them so far. Well, for me, Jurgen Klopp's like, hey, I'm gonna turn the gas up, and I'm gonna consume as much as possible, and you're gonna be hauling quick. But your legs are going to be shot within like 3 years.
Exactly what happened to everybody. It's like Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson. Like you might be like 28, 29, but you're like 35.
Yeah,
like, legs wise,
you're
done.
It's crazy. Like just like I guess essentially the lack of longevity.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the style they played, and it was entertaining as hell. Some of the best
rock and roll football, man. Oh, for real, for sure.
But yeah, good jersey pick. Mine, I went for the 1992-1993 QPR jersey. It's the white and blue stripes, like always with QPR. It says Classic FM. And the reason I picked that jersey is because they played Man City in the FA Cup, and they ended up losing. But that game, there's a specific 20 seconds that happens in the game, and I'll send it to you, and you can post it here too so people can see it. But it's literally voted as like the worst 20 seconds of football ever. And I just think that is hilarious. So I wanted to give a special shout out to one of the worst bits of football, those jersey wears that I've ever seen.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of Man City, 5 games.
5 games.
5 games.
I don't know what's going on, but I think like you can't go on a terrible run like that, and they like you can only be Pep Guardiola if you go on a run like that, a losing run, and still can sign a contract in November for a year extension. Dude, it's crazy.
It's wild.
And I thought when they lost 4 and then they signed a contract, I was like, oh, this is the bounce back they needed. They're like, okay, he's gonna stay here. No. And,
Yeah,
and everybody's blaming Rodri, and I'm like, I don't think one guy. I don't think has great of a. Don't get me wrong, he's a freak and a great team, but like, I don't think he's the sole reason that Man City has just like capitulated. And if he is, that arguably shows that Pep is not the best manager ever. I mean, he's not the best manager ever. We know who the best manager ever is.
Yeah, who would that be?
Kenny Dalglish, bro.
Oh, thank you. No. it's
No,
Fergie, right?
It's Fergie,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Fergie.
Of course.
Pep's close
Yeah.
second, but
He's allowed to have one rough season. Like I think
he's had rough seasons before, but this is bad.
not like this.
No, not like this. This is his first time I read in his manager career, and I think even his career as a player, I don't think he ever lost 4 and now 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah,
It's
Fergie
wild.
never lost 4 in a row.
He had a really bad first and second season for Man U, didn't he? Maybe he never lost that many in a row, but
didn't
it
lose that
wasn't
many in a
like
row.
they were
They-
looking
they-
at firing him potentially.
Yeah, I think his first season they finished like 10th or something like that. He had he kind of had like a good, then bad, and then good, and then unstoppable after that.
Yeah,
But yeah, Fergie was great. He was a god among men. But anyways, so shout out to our jersey picks this week. Now, Colby, let's talk about your new pickups because you've been like a kid on Christmas, even though it's not even Thanksgiving yet. You've been smiling. You've been sending me all these texts, gassed up. So where do you want to start? You want to start with the not fun boots and then move to the best boot, or do you want to start with the best boot?
Yeah. Let's go small. Let's go small.
Okay.
Speaking of, man, I was talking about this last week on the pod.
Speaking of,
if you guys have kids out there and you were in the market for some like good kids boots, Asics, dude, Asics.com, DS Lights. This is a stud pattern I was talking about last week. Look at that.
the
That's
tumor on the
wild, man.
bottom is really interesting.
This one I don't really know what this does. I might ask the expert Andrew Lockhart on that. But, dude, got the rivets, got these for some stud pressure here. So I got my son the Turfs as well, and he played 3 games this weekend.
Oh wow,
3 indoor games, yeah, and he loves them. So,
great.
and then going with the A6 theme, finally got the I say this name so wrong. Destaque KFF. So you got kangaroo leather at the toe box here. And then some nice like reinforced stitching there. Good suede liner. Nice cushion. Very excited for these, man. Very excited for these.
Yeah.
A little bit long in the toe. For my usual true to size. So these are very niche. So I don't think I could, one, return them affordably or sell them and get a smaller size. So I'm gonna just get through it, man.
You're gonna try to go one game and inevitably never touch them. They're gonna sit up there on that boot wall, never be touched.
They'll look nice and pretty. I don't mind these looking nice and pretty on the boot wall.
Yeah, that's okay. Do you think is the KFF kangaroo forefoot?
Probably. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well,
But, dude,
I mean,
that
how do
is-
they feel overall? So they're a little long. Do they feel
Little-
good on feet?
They feel amazing on feet, actually. Like, the whole thing, it just wraps your foot really well. Like, Asics is just quality, dude. Like, all over the place. Like, even here, like, on the tongue, like, it's super thinned out right there.
Yeah.
You can actually see that. Like, it's so nice. So when you put the boot on, like, it feels incredibly comfortable. It wraps your foot. Like, honestly, like, I was juggling a little bit, and it's just so nice and cushioned. Like, the touch on the ball is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super similar. I mean, it's obviously like a Japanese brand, but it's super similar to my my Sala, Merlia Classic Salas.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Same
we're gonna
thing.
try them out. We're gonna try them out and see how they go. Now, your Christmas present came in the other day. You sent me a picture.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
kangaroo leather. It's white.
Yeah, it's out of soccer.com purgatory, man.
Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, David Beckham's. I was showing you this, which I thought was really interesting. Is like there's a leather tongue, but unlike the Rotero version that you have or the MIGs that you have, it's like leather, like all the way in
Yeah.
the inside there, which I thought was pretty cool. It's
Okay.
super comfortable too.
Yeah.
But you've been telling me this for months, right? Rotero is king. Rotero is king. It's the best version of the Pred 24. You're absolutely right. There's so much volume in the toe box. Like a normal pearlized Pred will be kind of flush to my foot, like right on the top. There's actually room on top of my foot here. There's a little extra space in the toe box, which I ironically I like on these. I don't like on my indoors. But yeah, I can tell these are going to be a lot more comfortable to wear.
And so much like room in the toe box is a positive in this instance, not a negative. So I just want because you're like, oh, there's way like there's a lot of room in the toe. So I just like that's a positive for this because the normal ones, like a lot of people, if you've worn them especially, like it's in your toes. It will dig in your toes, and if you do not get the correct sizing, like your nails got to be short, and you might not have them after a few wears. So far, how did your foot feel? Did you feel any of that pressure, like on the outside of your foot that you normally do? Was your pinky toe rub in?
No, yeah, that's where it got me last time. I was going to say was like right out here, my pinky toe on the regular pearlized was just, I would get a horrible blister on the outside of my foot here. But no, I haven't had any problems with these yet. I haven't actually worn them in a game or anything. I want to make a video with these before I do anything while they're still nice and white. So yeah, man, I'm super pumped. Like this is one of those boots where I'm so excited. Like I've told you, I've bought boots before where I'm like, I don't even want to get these dirty. I don't want to breathe on them. I really want to play in these, man.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Do you wish you had a second pair?
No. That would be $600, so no.
Okay, well, I know like this isn't as big for you as it is for others or even maybe myself. What did you think about the presentation of the boots? Like, were you thoroughly impressed with the box and...
presentation's awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
David Beckham signature there. And then you were asking me about insoles.
Yeah, does it have insoles or laces or anything?
It's got blue insoles. So you have white insoles that are in the boots, and then you have like these cool blue insoles. Which is nice. I love that about Adidas, that they're like always cool to give you an extra pair of insoles. So
very cool.
Can't wait to get these out on the pitch, man. Like these are so nice. This is exactly like what a surprise it is. Like when you think year's over, you miss the Roteros, you're looking at the 25s, and then I thought it was out of nowhere because like all through the year we're thinking we're gonna get what Mania remakes, which we got the made in Germany's, and I thought that was kind of gonna be it. Like we were gonna get the pearl. It was the pearlized made in Germany's, and I was like, okay, I guess that's the David Beckham champagne remakes that they had been rumoring back in like February, March. So wow, like, and I think I was telling you this over text, but like when you're spending this much on a boot, like it's got to be quality, and like these are like absolutely quality, man. Like the external heel counter that you get on the regular pred, like with a fusion skin, the design, like the leather tongue, like it. I think these are going to be worth every penny.
That's awesome, dude.
Control frame 2.0, dude. I love this sole plate.
That's great, man. I'm so glad that you have finally crossed on over. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel like I've been like living in the riches, and I've been like experiencing all the wonderfulness. And I see you, and when I took on this journey, I was like, Colby, come with me. And you're like, no, the colorway's ugly. I'm not doing it. And you didn't, and you missed out. So I've been living, feasting in the riches. And now you took a little dingy lifeboat over here, and now you're in the riches with me. That's how I feel.
It's nice. It's nice.
It's
yeah,
great.
I saw these come out and I was like, I've got, it was so painful was like you hit me up, you're like, dude, go to soccer.com, pre-order now. It's like Monday, the week of like the boots releasing. I was like, yes, I've secured my pair, and I've watched so many people like go to Unisport, go to Adidas, get their boots, and I'm just sitting here like, is this boot even gonna come? I was nervous it was gonna get canceled.
It's a bummer, but listen, it came. It's here.
Yeah,
you're gonna get to enjoy it probably this weekend, and you're gonna be like, Justin, this is great. But but here's the part too that is great about it and is terrible, is because when you wear the Rotero, or now I'm assuming the David Beckham, and you experience how phenomenal it is, the only thought you will ever have is, why isn't this just normal?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the regular
absolutely.
Pred Elite, like we've ranted and raved about it. We've talked about it all year. And the way that I said that this is like a it's the regular one was a home run, and then these two are the grand slams. And it's like once you experience the grand slam, it's hard to enjoy just a home run.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's exact. I'm glad I started with the regular version and then upgraded it. Because if I gotten this first and then was like, oh, like I like this colorway, like I like the gosh, I can't remember. It was like the silver and pink tongue one. I was like, oh, that was really cool. I'd like to get that one. If I had gotten these first, I'd be disappointed, honestly. If I had to go back to the regular.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exactly what you said. I know Lockhart said this. I know Noah said this. Is like, why didn't you just make this the regular version of the Pred? Why don't they actually just scrap the Copa line entirely and just make two separate versions, Hybrid Touch 1.0 and this version?
That's exactly what we talked about, Yeah. And it's like we always end up having like these full circle conversations like over and over, and it's like essentially cut the Copa whatever-ish line and make a leather Pred and a synthetic Pred. And, again, that's where I think that I really thought with the precision remakes, the David Beckham ones, that's where they were going to learn that. Like, okay, let's do a Hybrid Touch version, and we'll do a leather version for either or, and, make them available to everybody. And that way somebody can always get what they want. And they just haven't learned yet.
Yeah, they have
One
not.
day they're going to see episode, I think this is 50 of the Bootcast, and they're like, "Oh, these guys! Why did we catch this before?
Why did we just listen
these
to these
guys were right
man?
the whole time." No, that's awesome, man. Have you gotten anything else new? Have you worn anything else?
Oh, geez. I'm just wearing Mark's Legend 9s that he sent me. So, like, those are my kind of, like, go-to right now.
Your beaters?
Yeah, these are my beater boots right now. They're kind of, like, just slip on.
Did you retire the 5s already?
Yeah, I want to preserve the 5s as long as I can. Like, I'll take them out. Like, if it's been raining a little bit here in Texas, so if the ground is soft and muddy, I'll wear the 9s. If it's kind of, like, hard, like, these HGs are incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get these too dirty, so...
Yeah, very nice. Yep. Well, cool, man. No, that's awesome. So my pickups aren't as exciting as yours. I didn't tell you this because I know you'd be so disappointed in me. But after listening to the Football Boot Hour last week, and they had Ben, who was one of the designers of the F50 Plus on, I just felt like I had to get another pair of F50 Plus.
Oh my goodness!
So I did it. I found a pair. I got a great deal on it. Way less than retail. Way less than retail. But I had to support Ben, man. He's such a cool guy.
He was a cool guy, dude.
And even though I wore that boot and I gave it like a 6.5 in my review, he just convinced me again. And I was like, I got to do it.
Dude, it was so scientific. Like, if you have not watched that episode, please go watch the last episode of the Football Boot Hour because it's so insightful. Like when he was talking about how, like, I think he was saying when you're starting to get on your toes, you're starting to run, you're activating like one part of like the plate, and then you're like actually like in a full sprint, and you're like basically like doing both. So it's almost like it's more reactive when you're in a full sprint or something. The boot is, and I'm like, that is just like ridiculous engineering.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was cool too how he was like basically like as because he said the people that go to market. So he's like an engineer, a boot engineer. He basically said like they get boots to a certain point and then they pass it on to another team who like comes out with the final concept that they like put into marketing and everything. So even he was like, oh yeah, like there'd be parts where like we would have it and we're like, okay, this is what we want, this is what we're going for, and he's like, and then another team would take it and try to like spin their iteration on it. And it is crazy because you think like it's one guy, maybe like five people total. They draw this boot out, they make concepts, they have the final one. They're like, okay, here's start to finish, we worked on it. And it is crazy like how many hands that process has to go through. So that was one of the coolest episodes. It was awesome to listen to him, but like just the way he talked about it, I was like, man, I felt like that scene in Lord of the Rings, at the very end when Aragorn turns around and he's like, for Frodo, and then he runs. I was like, for Ben. And then so that's the way I thought. So goodness. I did get a pair of those. They'll get here eventually. And then another cop that I got because of an insanely good Black Friday deal was I got the Judes. I got the Judes, man. I got to support the Golden Boy. It's like I was telling you, like, okay, I'm like you. We don't really love black boots. But the more I look at this boot and I've had this boot, it definitely has grown on me. The JB logo is pretty sick. I do like that. I like the gold stripes where they're like more gold up top and they kind of fade with the black. The sole plate looks awesome. The smoky black stud tips are awesome. Overall, like, it's nothing crazy, but two things that I love on this boot that I wish that they would do is the lines. Like, that's so minimal.
That is really cool.
It's just a design choice, but I think it looks sick on this. And then another thing that I wish that they would do is, like, we talked about, what is it? The texturing? I don't know. Whatever material they're using. So far, this matte black version, which is, like, not peach fuzzy like the orange ones I had were, has been my favorite. So, Adidas, I don't know. Try to use this one more often, whatever this is.
Yeah, I love the gold sole plates, man. Like that, like I'm not huge, like I don't really care, especially like, you know, wearable finishes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like that one is really cool to me.
Yeah, this is it's a cool boot. This is one of those boots where when I got it, and I was like, man, I get why Ricky loves black and gold boots. This is nice. And it's like, it's definitely one I would totally rock. Like, I really would. But, yeah, man. It came up, good sale, good price. Soccer Pro took great care of me. They missed my order, and I paid for expedited shipping. And they were like, hey, sorry, that's on us. We're going to refund your shipping, but we're still going to do expedited shipping for you. So they saved me even more money. So shout out to soccerpro.com. Thank you for taking care of me, as always.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
So the topic of the day was, you were kind of annoyed earlier, and that kind of spawned this question. So, Colby, what was the question that you wanted to throw out there for today's episode?
All right, my friend. Question of today is, okay, we're seeing, so it's Black Friday week.
Yep.
Like, this podcast is going to come out day before Thanksgiving. And Black Friday is, it used to be a Friday thing. We'd go to Walmart at like 2 a.m. and trample people, and now it's the entire month.
Yeah.
But within this, with outlets, you know, soccer.com, other places, Nike, Adidas, there are certain items that are excluded from promotions, right? Top quality items, just you're locked out. Okay, yeah, whatever. Well, when big sales like 25%, 30% come around, and those things are still excluded from promotions, to me, it's like, what's the point? Like, I want these Mizuno boots, or I want this authentic Nike jersey, or I want like something signature, like David Beckham's. Like, you're always going to have to pay full price for those things, and that bothers me a little bit, you know, because it's like, hey, look, no, like, make this a part of the sale. Like, I'm coming to your website because, like, of the week. Like, put those things, like, include them in the sale, and then I might buy that jersey plus maybe another pair of boots. Yeah. But now it's like, well, it doesn't matter that this week is Black Friday week at all, because I'm essentially paying the same price.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. Like, I noticed that, and I'm going to use soccer.com as an example, because I think that, honestly, I think they're kind of the most notorious at this. But it's like you said. So they've got some boots that I've been kind of eyeing and watching. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And they're like, hey, 25% off. So I'm like, okay, great. So I'm going to use that 25% off on this already on sale boot that's like 2 gens old. Perfect. Well, then the fine print is like, oh, it's got to be full price item for you to get 20% off or 25% off. So I'm like, okay. So then I looked at a different pair of Preds. I've been watching the, what's it called? What's that pack? Vivid Horizon. The coppery ones. I looked at that, and again, full price items. So I'm like, okay, cool. You can finally get them 25% off, excluded from promotions. So it's just like, again, it's like, why do I want to buy here? Because somewhere like Soccer Pro, for example, they're like, please take anything, and if you have a coupon, use it. We want you to get these items. You know what I mean? Soccer Pro is one of the best at that. We Got Soccer. I give them humongous props because they are also very good about that. And lately, I've gotten a lot of stuff from Soccer Village, too.
Soccer Village, too,
Soccer
dude.
Village
No
has
tax
been
there
phenomenal.
either.
Yeah. So it just blows my mind how these because I've always been under the ideology of some money is better than no money. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Like, I'd rather make, because they're going to get these, we know how it works. These retailers get these boots, shirts, whatever, for a cheaper price. That's how they turn around and sell it, make a profit. Okay, cool. But wouldn't you rather make some money than just to leave that on the table forever and it may never sell? Like, there's boots on soccer.com that still are for sale, and you're just like, how?
Right. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Anything Puma is still going to be sitting there for months and months and months.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's something that really, it bugs me. And like, because people are so incentivized by the littlest thing too. It's like, I think you're almost like shooting yourself in the foot when you're not including essentially all the items, because like if you're looking at the difference between two boots, say like, oh man, I really, really want these, like say it's like Mizuno Morelia 2s or something, and then they're not on sale, but something like, you know, like Puma Future is going to be half price, another 25%. Oh shoot, I can get that for like less than $100.
Yeah.
Like, well, I really did want these, but you know, I can get like this and another thing. I'll get these boots and this jersey. And so like, but if you'd put the Morelli's just on a little bit of a sale, like, yeah, I'd buy those, and I would forego like all these other items.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
It's frustrating
because
me.
like you said, like sometimes like, and I know I'm notorious of this, but it's like, oh, if I can spend like let's say I've got a good coupon, it's like, oh, instead of just getting one for cheaper, I might get two and still spend the exact same. Or even more, you know, I'm like, I'll risk spending a little more, but I'm getting more things. And it's just weird to me. Like, even Nike.com does that all the time. They'll send me something like, hey, use this 35% off coupon for anything. So I'm like, cool. And then I plug it in, and it's like, oh, this item, you can't use it. Oh, this item, you can't use it. I'm like, well, why the did you send me anything?
Right.
Because, like, you know what I'm buying. Like, I always buy the same things from your app. And I don't get it. That's
what Adidas does too with like their point system and their membership. They're like, oh wow, you have like 2,500 points. Like here's a 15% off on your next order or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. And then like I'll try type the promo code in. And it's like, nope, can't be used on this item. Yeah, can't be used on this item. It's like, well, what the heck? Like, exactly. Why am I a member? Why am I spending money if you're not going to reward me for the things that I actually want to buy from your store?
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, yeah, for example, like, okay, yeah, with Adidas, you're incentivizing me to spend money on these things because you're going to give me more points. But then your points don't work on anything. So why do I care about keep trying to spend money? Like, that's why Adidas is like, oh, come back, you know, you went down a level. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. That doesn't mean anything. Like, oh, cool, I'm level 6. What does that get me? Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what is with these. I don't. It's not price gouging. Maybe nickel and diming. Like why they have to maximize their profits so hard. It's like Like when do you we've talked about this with resellers too. Like at what point do you get to it where you're like, okay, that's enough money. I made enough money on that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, man. Like, I feel like they should really loosen it up, and it's all. But like, what's funny is, I'm trying to remember what went on sale. I think it might have been like a month ago or something. Like Ricky was like, "Oh, hey, you can actually use this promo code on Sambas or something," and I was like, "That's so crazy that like you can't normally do it, and it's like a big deal when you can actually use a coupon for something.
Yeah,
that's not normally on a coupon.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, $5 off.
Yeah,
that's the max they're allowed you to say. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
super weird.
But anyways, man, that's my question. That's sort of my rant for the theme of the week here. You know, for all of you watching, tomorrow is gonna be Thanksgiving, and then hopefully everybody scores a good deal this week.
Hopefully.
On some boots.
There's a boot that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Now we ranted already about the Black Friday sale, but people were ranting to me earlier in my DMs, bro. Like I got some mean DMs, okay? Unisport, J Mike, put out a fantastic video and fantastic review, and even on his personal Instagram and Unisport's Instagram, they put out like top quality photos. The Vapor 1 remake, R9 Chrome, it's been revealed. We know it's real, okay? It uses the current Vapor sole plate, which some people love, some people are pissed about. It uses Fly Touch Plus as the upper, so essentially synthetic leather, which I don't agree with, but I get the theory behind it, okay? The colorway, it's great. I don't really know why they picked now, but cool. It comes with the tag. It's limited to, I think, 4,500 pairs. So cool. They're doing all the right things. You know, these are things that Noah has talked about, James has talked about, other people have talked about, like, we want it numbered. Okay, cool. They even give you the classic Nike box. Awesome. All that's phenomenal. The opening of the boot, bro. The heel area.
Those pictures side by side, dude.
Tell me what the hell that was. That shit was wild.
Dude, it is like it's comical. Like if you put it up, if you put like this new Vapor, I will absolutely. It'll be on screen right now. But if you put those two up to each other, it looks like the new Vapor is so like crazy open it looks photoshopped.
Yeah.
It looks like you photoshopped, like you made the back half like twice as big as the front half.
Yeah.
That's how big the opening is.
Dude, it's okay. Like the way I can describe it is like, let's say this is the classic Vapor opening right here, right? Okay, so everybody can see this. Okay, the new Vapor is like this. Like that's how like over the top. Like I looked at that and I was just like, what the hell is this? Like this looks like. I don't even know. It doesn't even look like bad enough that like this is like a Temu AliExpress make.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I don't know
and
who the hell that's for.
I don't even think it would be for somebody like me who has really wide feet. Like that's just
for like somebody like club feet.
Yeah,
like that can't physically fit their foot in something. That or a peg leg. That shit was gnarly.
It was gnarly, dude. It looks like you could just straight up like slip your foot in. You know what I mean? Like it's like a pair of Crocs or something. Just slip your foot right in there, like go to the pitch.
But it's like
Don't worry
Crocs,
about it.
like before you activate like the sport strap. You know
before
what I mean?
you put it into sport mode.
Yeah. That's just fucking. And I get it. Like they keep saying it's not a remake; it's a reimagining. That's why they use different materials. Which okay, like I'll give you a slide, but like I don't know what the hell that is back there. I don't know what that is.
It's the elephant in the room for sure. Like I think
that's who it's made for. Oh, an elephant. You're right, Colby. Just a tubular leg, an elephant. Good call, man. Good call.
Let's just say, okay, for argument's sake, like let's say they get this heel right? Like heel's good. It looks, it's it actually fits people.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of these other changes, right? Like the Fly Touch Plus, right? And he said in J-Mac's review, he said it's a variation of the Fly Touch Plus. Because it looks to me like it looks smoother, kind of like the classic, what is it, Nike skin on there. So do you think, like say people get this in hand and they're like, dude, this is actually like nicer. This is kind of softer than the Tiempo. Do you think that this is almost an introduction of what we're going to see on the Tiempo 11? Because that's what I was thinking about when I was watching it.
That's hard. I don't know. I don't honestly at this point, I don't know if anything can genuinely save the Tiempo with where it is right now in sentiment.
And I'll keep this on the Vapor. Like I don't want to jump into, but I saw that and that was one of the first things I thought.
Think like, see, I didn't think Tiempo 11. I kind of thought more back to the callbacks of the Emerald and the Pearl. Like it had a different finish, kind of more smoothie and leather-like, but also kind of sticky, like to the touch. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is an interesting boot, and it's like I get why they used the Fly Touch Plus because it's the closest to leather, and at the time, that's a big material. They probably, I don't even know if they have Tahitian synthetic with Nike anymore. I don't know if they have that copyright or whatever trademark, but I get why you're like, this is kind of the closest material we currently have because they don't have a ton of synthetics anymore, but. I sent a comment to J Mike and he kind of agreed with me to an extent, but I said this boot is just like this boot to me. It's very much like this, where all the materials are there. You see why they made certain changes and you're like, okay, I get that. I get why you did this. I get why you did that. But somewhere along the pipeline from like concept to the final product, something got lost in translation. And he was like, I definitely think that the LZs are still like the worst thing ever. And he was like, so it's not that bad. But he's like, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And that's kind of where I'm at with Nike, where I'm like, maybe it's because they don't really do, this is their first reimagining. Maybe it's because they don't do the remake thing. I don't know. But somewhere along the way, something got messed up. And now we have this, like, honestly, I'm sorry. Like, this is a really cruel word. But this is like a monstrosity of a product, bro. Like looking at it, it's I try to be like, okay, you don't know, maybe once you wear it or whatever, yada yada. But I just like I don't know how you could justify that because it's gonna be what 300 to 350 somewhere. We'll say 275 to 350. I'm gonna say that ballpark.
Yeah,
that's where I could imagine it landing.
And I think 4,500 people will still buy it
for sure.
I saw something interesting on our friend Substance Football's story where he was talking about like, look, eventually, like everybody's kind of selling on nostalgia right now. Eventually, people are going to get tired of it, just like they're getting tired of some other, like they're getting tired of Marvel movies, or you know what I mean? It's just kind of we're going to get fatigued.
Yeah.
So And especially when you get a boot in, like when I got, we've talked about this before on the pod, but you get the MIGs in, the cruise boots in. It's good, but it's not nearly like what you thought it was going to be based off your like the nostalgia that's in your head. And when those two things don't equal each other, you can be like, forget this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, that's where I definitely think, because like even Sub was pretty hyped for these, and then we were messaging earlier, and he's just like, man, he's like, as soon as I saw it, like I just kind of lost all like desire to want to get it, and you're just like, dang. And again, that is kind of the hard part where with these companies that they have to ride, where it's like, how early do we show people? Because if we don't show people, then there's going to be no hype. But if we build it too early, then people will start picking apart things and finding things they don't like, and it might kill the whole project completely. So, I mean, J Mike did say he still liked them, he still enjoyed them, everything. So I do give him that. But again, after I wore the LZ1 remakes, I just looked at those Vapor ones and I was just like, nah, it's not for me. Like, what I mean? It's just not for me.
I have a question for you, okay? Because this isn't exactly a remake, but it is like a sort of reskin. Do you remember when Nike did the DNA pack more than a few years ago now? It's probably been like 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
But it was where they had it was legit, like almost like skins that you see like on characters in a video game, but on like the Nike boots. It was better than of just like putting the splash of colors on there, to where I think like on the Tiempo they actually moved where the swooshes were. They kind of did something different for like the T90 part of the Phantom Venom. I almost wonder if like I'd rather have that, like especially like with these out, it's like I'd almost rather have like a reimagining where the upper still matches the sole plate, because I think that's kind of becoming a little bit of a theme too, is like they use the current Vapor 16 sole plate, and then they tried to put like a Frankenstein Fly Touch Plus like upper on there just to get the fit, and that really screwed the heel up. And it's like, would we have rather seen a Vapor 16, like a Vapor 16, but with the material of like that Fly Touch Plus, where it's not necessarily a classic U-throat, but it's close, or it's knit, but that way it gives it like a better heel and a better like overall lockdown. Like if is that good enough for people? You know what I mean? Like kind of like a Nike DNA version of the Vapor.
Yeah, and again, I think they've really made a point to say like this is not a remake, it's a reimagining. Because you remember they did the remake with the CTR and the T90. And the T90 was on the Hyper Venom sole plate. So it did change it up a little bit. I don't know, man. I think it's just, this might be one of those ones where I think it's just, like you said, the parts that they picked just don't match up. And because of that, that's why it's kind of been a dud. Like, if that makes sense. Like for example, like with these, like I think the biggest problem that these had, because they're so thick and chunky, was they used this sole plate. They used the takedown edge sole plate. I think if you did these now, okay, you took this upper and everything, and you're like, hey, I want to remake it, but you put it on the current sole plate, I think it would have been way better. Yeah. Just because of how much more narrow and fitted and everything that is. So I don't know if it's the mercurial sole plate that they use. I don't know if it's the Fly Touch Plus, but like I said, somewhere along those lines, those Lego parts did not fit, and Nike just kind of shoehorned it in, and then literally, it blew out the backside of it, and now that heel just looks god awful.
Yeah, what's your opinion on the air zoom in the sole plate? Like, are you okay with them doing that? Are you against them doing that?
I don't care.
Yeah, because honestly, it doesn't bug me.
Yeah, like when I've tried them on. I haven't actively worn the current Vapors. So I'm gonna work on getting a pair, but I haven't actively worn them. But when I've tried them on, like I don't feel anything. So it's just like I don't know. Like I think you could have gotten away with, like as lame as this is, and it sounds so pathetic. You could have essentially taken the Tiempo 10, did a mercurial color, like an actual mercurial look to it, and I think that would have been better than what you have now.
Yeah, I think people would have said that was lazy, but it's almost better than taking a risk this big and failing at it like they have now.
This boot, this is a boot that 100% looks like it is supposed to be displayed on a shelf in a nice collection and not actually worn. Like that is the whole vibe I'm getting from this boot. And that's sad because I know a lot of people really want to wear this and experience it, but it's like it's the same thing with the 99-gram boots. I've told you, like some boots, the Tony Cruz boots, some boots should not be worn. They're just designed to be looked at, and that's where I'm at with these.
Yeah. Really quick, so I don't lose this thought, and then I have another thought. Going back to the Air Zoom unit, I think it's probably fine. I think that's the highest level right now sole plate. Like, you're gonna want the elite sole plate on the like reimagined boot, right? People would complain if it was like the Vapor Pro. Like, no, that's not good enough. We want the elite. We want the Air. And I know, like, we have some friends, like Boot Maniac just did a long-term review on the Vapor 16s, and he said, like, when he went to other boots and then back to the Vapors, he did notice that he felt like stud pressure was less from the Zoom unit on AG pitches and stuff like that. So I think, like, for some people that do wear Mercs a lot, like, they do notice on some of those hard AG pitches. And then my second thought real quick is, let's say, like, pro players, Vinny Jr., if he's wearing this boot on the pitch, like, is his heel going to be that freaking wide? Like, or is he just going to have a ton of padding on the, the inside?
His will be custom fitted to his foot anyways. So that's not anything he would ever worry about. And if it is, let's say hypothetically it is, I guarantee you, if he has to wear that boot, like, let's say Nike brings Vinny this boot, maybe one half of a game.
Okay, I can see that. And then he would
change it. But I think he's injured right now. So he might not even wear it at all. Who knows?
Yeah.
They come out December 9th, so we'll see. But this is one of those ones, like, I wasn't really gassed up when I kind of saw the fakes and the leaks, and I know that there's other colorways on the horizon, supposedly. But I do feel bad for a lot of people who feel let down now that they've actually seen the boot. And that's sad.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it's been happening a lot lately. Not as big with Adidas, but I know that when you kind of found out how the Made in Germany Preds were constructed, it's kind of like, ugh, So I think that's just kind of like the it going around. Or when I got the Cruise boots, it was like, is this nicer? Like, I don't know. Like, the fit's a little sloppy. Like, maybe they shouldn't have made this, and then people will grab as many pairs as they can, try to sell them, for $100 plus, and over retail. So it's just, I think we're gonna get tired of this, and I don't think it'll take very long.
Yeah, no, I think I think that we're gonna get very, kind of like you said, the whole I say we're Disneyed out in general. Like, we're out. Everybody's burned out on Marvel. Everybody's burned out on Star Wars. Everybody, is burned out on all these different It's just because of how Disney's working. And I think that's what we're gonna get. I think we'll stop seeing remakes, or we'll see a lot less of them. Which I feel like we've been kind of seeing a lot less remakes in general. But yeah, I think people are, and then it's gonna be the same thing. Like, people are gonna be like, I don't want to see newer versions of an old colorway. I want a new colorway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we were getting with the 24, the Pred. We were like, okay, it's cool. You're playing a lot of nostalgia cards and doing a lot of cool colorways, but like, let's see something new.
Yeah, dude, you know what's going to be better than remakes is, and I think Adidas figured this out with the Messi boots, was when they put that Hybrid Touch upper out, it was like, oh, people like it, let's put another one out. And they have them all stacked up into next year, and I think those are going to sell more than the regular F50. So I'll be curious to see that instead of doing remakes, they just do like change in upper materials. Like, let's say the new Pred 25 comes out, but they might still have these fusion skins lined up for special, like for tournament packs, maybe for signature players. Like, they might have it lined up all through next year, just to like, and that might be their new version of a remake, because they've had so much success with it.
And that's cool. And I think that things like that are great. Like, I think that one of the cool things with the Rotero now, the Bex, is kind of like the Rotero. It was like kind of like, because most Adidas boots are about a year, so the Rotero is about month 4 or 5, and then now the Bex boots have been about month 11 essentially. So it's kind of like, okay, you got to get midway through, then we're going to give you something cool, and then you get a little further, and we'll give you something cool. And I think that they could break it up a little bit more with, like, basically if they're going to do 1 year lifespans, do either 1 a quarter or 1 a third. So do 3 special, like, fusion skin ones, or do 4 fusion skins ones if that's how you want. But I do think that that's going to be kind of the way forward that the brand is. I don't think it'll have to be like specifically player specific, like the Messi versus the regular F50. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if they just did 1 pack where it's like, hey, this is essentially the fusion skin pack. Like, we did fusion skin models.
Could you imagine? That would be like a tech craft essentially.
Yeah,
like that would be kind of wild.
Yeah. If they did, even if they just did one, I think that the way that Adidas has learned to implement everything with fusion skin, I think it really does work. Like, I think if they did, I don't think they are. I'm not saying that they are, but I think if they did like a fusion skin messy boot, I think that one would in turn probably become even more so of the sought
for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, imagine if the Bad Bunnies, like, as much as everybody's got like a hard on for these Bad Bunny boots, like, imagine if that was the fusion skin one. Like, nobody knew, they thought it was Hypertouch, and then bam, here's your fusion skin one.
That would be the ugliest colorway to be like one of the best boots of the year.
But that's how a lot of people felt about the Rotero. A lot of people were like, oh, the Rotero's, that's like kind of, yourself included, like, ugh, why that one?
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? We can only speculate.
Well, you know what the interesting thing is too, Justin, before we leave this Vapor One topic, is they have 2 more colorways slotted, don't they, for these
Vapor
Vapor boots?
I've seen a black one, which I think is like the OG Vapor one, the black and gold, and then I think I saw red,
is it
reddish
like
orange.
Yeah. Orangey. They're not gonna be able to fix that heel if those are already lined in production? Like, are they?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they caught it post 13. I don't know. You know,
they did that. Okay, so they did that with the what was the first Vapor 16 to launch? I can't remember what the blueprint. Yeah, so they had the blueprint, and then they had like 2 colorways after that that were, the heels were still wide, and then I think they fixed it around the electric Safari pack, or the whatever the blue one is. They fixed it.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So who knows? I mean, like I said, maybe, and we never know. Maybe the pair that J Mike got, maybe that was a one-off, or it was a fluke pair, and it was a freakishly largemouth bass at the back end of it.
Maybe.
But yeah, let's just hope that Nike responds well. They see this and then they can fix it before future boots. Because again, to me personally, seeing something like that, unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Yeah.
For a premium price, premium product, unacceptable. Just, that's it. Period. Unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, man. I agree. I think the thing I'll be most curious about with this Vapor, for whoever buys it, is how that upper feels. Like, I'll be curious about that.
Yeah. Well, can't wait to see. Maybe we'll make a video. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Maybe.
Probably not. I'm probably not going to buy them.
No, I'm not buying that.
All right, Colby, before we get out of here, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Kicking with Colbs on Instagram and on YouTube, where hopefully I will get a video out on these this week. Follow me there.
Let's go. You can find me and this beautiful mustache at Texas Cleat Collector on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find us at bootcastpod on Instagram. As always, go down below, hit like, hit comment, share the video, smash the subscribe button, and turn on notifications, whatever the cool kids say these days. And as always, if you want to see more, click down here to see more. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.